Mark, thank you very much, Steve, for joining us. Great to be speaking to you. And obviously, you were speaking at our Transport Ticketing Global in March in London earlier this year, and you're going to be speaking at Transport Ticketing North America in Chicago, which we're launching this year. So we're always delighted to have you. Really glad you could join us at both events. Just talk a little bit about the event that's passed, so the one that happened in March in London. What were your key takeaways then from Transport Ticketing Global in London in March this year?
It was a fantastic event, really well attended by both vendors in the marketplace as well as agencies, transit agencies, and various players in the revenue collection and ticketing space. Really an exciting days of conference with a lot of information exchanged. Some of the big things, I think, reflecting on it was the pace of change that's facing the industry, and in particular facing transportation and ticketing. The needs for customers is growing. Expectations of customers is really high, that they are able to pay in the most convenient way. And so it's really a revolution in the payment space. So the conference was a great place to bring all of that together and showcase some of the best practices and also what innovative things different agencies are bringing to market.
Fantastic. And in terms of that sort of that customer expectation, I mean, I think we have more than 65 countries or something represented at TTG this year. Do you see that changing the world over? If you think of all those different sessions and all those different speakers we had, do you see that changing the world over, or is that just in certain territories that you see that really happening?
No, it is definitely a global sort of change that we're seeing, and we're seeing it everywhere. And I think it was Micronesia or Southeast Pacific even had representation at the conference, which was really neat to see.
Yeah.
And exciting because it's showing that people travel, people move around, and when they go to a new place, they sort of bring those expectations of where they came from there. And so when you see somebody, as an example, coming from London and experiencing a first class sort of payment system in action, they go home and they're like, well, why can't we have that here? So we see the customer is driving this and driving the expectations that agencies need to live up to. It is something I've seen worldwide, and it is something that's moving very quickly. And so we're really benefiting, I think, from a leapfrog in technology, where we had paper-based systems, we had conductors, and we had people that were high cost, high touch, not very consumer friendly. And now we're seeing all of a sudden you can go straight to contactless, where somebody can use their contactless credit or debit card in our case. And that's really a convenience, because people don't go to take public transit, or they don't go to a train station to pay. They go there just to simply travel. And this revolution, I think, is really making that the purpose and making it much easier for people.
We're going to be in Chicago in June. First time we've been taking the transport ticketing brand to North America. We're really looking forward to that. So you think of Transit Vancouver, obviously, many people say you're trailblazers in the North American market. But thinking about that piece around customer experience, do you see that kind of starting to pervade? Do you see that expectation growing amongst the customers or the travelers in North America?
Definitely. We're seeing that. Very lucky, Vancouver, we've got a world-class kind of system, but we also have one of the most convenient payment schemes in transit in North America. And it's something that people see it, they want it, and they want to have it. And so the major cities in the United States and Canada are adopting these things, introducing them. They're all at different phases of that implementation. And so when we look at Chicago, I think it's a great location for this conference, because you've got Chicago, Boston, New York, and a lot of other major cities that are in the midst of upgrading their current revenue systems and looking to introduce the best-in-class features. The other thing I think is notable is that because of the long lead time, these are major enterprise initiatives that involve significant capital, significant resources. They're a mix of technology as well as hardware and infrastructure changes that have to come together for a good customer experience. Those are big undertakings. They take years to do. And so when agencies are faced with making these decisions, they need to predict really what is the customer demand going to be in 5 and 10 years to make that investment worthwhile. And that's where the challenge comes in. So while we're looking to that, we see fast changing marketplace currently. We really got to take a look at where an agency's at, where the technology is today, but then where is the customer demand going to be? And that's something that things like card virtualization is front of mind. that people will likely want to and expect to transit that way and use those things to pay for their transit. So what does it take to put it into real being?
Yeah. Well, that's a really good topic, because obviously you were talking about that both in London, but you're going to be talking about that in the event in Chicago. So what does that mean for the customer, and how straightforward do you think that is for agencies to put in place?
I think it means a lot to customers. I think there's a growing expectation that a lot of people want to use their phone for everything. I know certainly I don't carry a wallet anymore. I carry my phone, and I expect to be able to pay by tapping my phone. So people want that convenience. For an agency, that is a big deal. To be able to do that is a very challenging thing. The technology behind it is very significant, and it's an expectation that it's not just virtualization of an agency issued card. It is people may not want to have another app to their phone. And agencies need to be careful about developing an app, because every time a new phone comes out, you have to make sure your app works with that. So before agencies will go off and build an app, they need to really think about what is the long-term implications of that. And then from a customer perspective, is it something that they want, or did they just want to have the ability to buy a monthly pass, or to buy a day pass, or just pay each trip individually using my phone without even opening the phone? Would be the nirvana state, let's say.
Translink is clear and exemplar within the market, right? It's a great example for people to look to. And you mentioned the likes of Chicago, where we're going to be, and New York and Boston, etc. But not everybody is so lucky to kind of have, the ridership and the revenues and those kind of networks that we're talking about. So if you think of the North American market outside of some of those bigger cities as well, what do you think are the key things that they could be looking forward to? What do you think the key things that they should bear in mind when they're putting in their programs?
Well, I think there's a couple of really good points. One is that taking a customer-centric viewpoint is key. That what is the customer's experience going to be? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to help a customer with? And I think everybody worldwide would recognize that vending machines are a terrible customer experience, and they're a scary thing to, even if you've never seen one and you're going up to it for the first time, it's just a ball of confusion. So contactless payment is one of the things that makes that very easy, because I don't have to think about that as a customer. Agencies need to look at that holistically, identify what it is they're trying to fix, what pain points in that customer transit is being resolved with it. And then in implementing that, if they don't have, because one size doesn't fit all, a point-to-point rail agency, or a commuter rail, or even a private rail company would have very different customer expectations than a public transit company or a smaller bus company. And so it's, what is that customer segment telling the agency? And then how do I do that in the most cost-effective way? And we see some of those solutions are things like an app-based payment solution, and there's a number that are really good ones that are in market. We saw those at the conference. They've been presenting on various topics, and they offer a really good value proposition to an agency that might not have the means of a New York, as an example. So those are some of the things to think about, and certainly bring to market what you can. So some things you can layer over top of an existing payment structure, and you don't have to have an enterprise scaled solution. It can be an app solution that is complemented by a cash collection system as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really helpful. That's really helpful insight, I think, for everybody. I think no matter what the size of the agency is, or the kind of the size of the network you're dealing with, I think that focus on the customers clearly the key thing, right?
People love that. They really get excited about things that they can buy, that they can collect, they can use them, and they can use them with pride. So there's a lot of neat things that agencies can think about doing. Hong Kong has just come out with a licensed Mickey Mouse extensible hand that you can tap at the fare gate with a Mickey Mouse hand, and I think that's kind of brings that magic literally to a travel experience, which just means it a little bit more fun, a little bit less, dull, dreary, and it's a fun thing to do.
That's brilliant. I think that will get us going. I think the favorite so far I've seen is somebody clearly took a chip, put it on the end of a wand, and in a wizard suit, I saw them tap onto a bus to get themselves on board. So.
Yeah, I love those. Love those.
That's all customer experience, right?
It is. It's something new, and it's unexpected in a lot of agencies. A lot of the traditional public transit agency isn't expected to do those things. So when they do them, it has a double impact. It really does get people excited.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, look, Mark, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed for giving us the time to talk through both your time in London and what's going to be coming up in Chicago. We're really looking forward to that. We're always really grateful and excited to see you on the program. So thanks once again for your time. We're looking forward to seeing you in Chicago in June.
Looking forward to it. Thanks so much.